जीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् साधन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Rama Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dhanavad.
Hare Krishna, Vijayananda Pranam. Welcome all devotees for the Bhagavatam session. Today we will hear the nectar from His Grace Rama Aprameya Prabhu and from 5th canto, 5th chapter, shloka number 3. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari कुंज बिहारी। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रचार्य स्तोत्र सच्चे श्रीमद् वैचनानंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल। श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 5 chapter 5 Lord Rishabdeva's teachings, and verse number is 3. ये वा मयीशे कृतसौहृदार्था जनेषु देहं भरवर्तिकेषु गृहेषु जायात्मजरातिमत्सु न प्रीतियुक्ता यावदर्थाश्च लोके. Again, I read very beautiful verse. ये वा मयीशे कृतसौहृदार्था जनेषु देहं परवार्तिकेषु गृहेषु जायात्मजनातिमत्सु न प्रीतियुक्ता यावदर्थाश्च लोके. Word by word meaning. Ye, those who, va, or, mai, unto me, Ishe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kritasauradhartha, very eager to develop love in a relationship of Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. Janeshu, to people, Deham Bharavartikeshu, who are interested only in maintaining the body, not in spiritual salvation. Griheshu, to the home. Jaya, wife. Atmaja, children. Rati, wealth or friends. Matsu, consisting of. Na, not. Preeti Yuktaha, very attached. Yavad Arthaha, who live by collecting only as much as required. Cha and Loke, in the material world. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders, nor are they attached to wives, children, friends, or wealth. At the same time, they are not indifferent to the execution of their duties. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep the body and soul together. Purport. Whether he is an impersonalist or a devotee, one who is actually interested in advancing spiritually should not mingle with those who are simply interested in maintaining the body by means of so-called advancement of civilization. Those who are interested in spiritual life should not be attached to homely comforts in the company of wives, children, friends, and so forth. Even if one is a grahastha and has to earn his livelihood, he should be satisfied by collecting only enough money to maintain the body and soul together. One should not have more than that or less, nor less than that. As indicated herein, a householder should endeavor to earn money for execution of bhakti yoga. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. A householder should lead such a life that he gets full opportunity to hear and chant. He should worship the deity at home, observe festivals, invite friends in, and give them prasada. A householder should earn money for this purpose, not for sense gratification. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupak Kadamanyam Dadati Supadantam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna. Thank you all again for the opportunity to speak these extraordinary instructions from the Srimad Bhagavatam. These are instructions of a father to his son. So the Bhagavatam tells about two types of fathers. One is Daksha Prajapati and other is Rishabdeva. So Daksha Prajapati, his idea was that go to forest, do some tapasya, become pious, nice people. You should do little religious activities, but at the same time, you be practical. Do your family duties, do in sense gratification, enjoy life, all those things. Whereas Rishabdeva is a different type of father. Rishabdeva is a father who is telling nothing material. Sense gratification we have seen in the past two slokas ago. Nayam deho deha bhajam dhanloke kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujam ge. Tapo divyam putrakayena satvam shuddhaye tasmat brahma saukyam tanantam. Brahma saukyam. You should try for spiritual happiness. Otherwise, we are just on the level of animals. So don't indulge in sense enjoyment, because sense enjoyment is just for low grade species of life, not for advanced species like human beings. So this is another father, Rishabdeva. Generally, what are parents' instructions to children nowadays? Study well, don't speak lies. Sometimes speaking is okay. Mostly don't speak lies. Then become a good man, become a big doctor, become a big engineer, earn a lot of money, go to US, and in all these things, don't forget to go to temple. Sometimes go to temple, pray to the Lord, because God is also required. We cannot be atheist. So generally, these are instructions. In Krishna consciousness movement, maybe we are a little better. We may tell, don't miss your Sunday programs. We may instruct our children, don't miss your Sunday programs. And every parent wants his children to be devotees, no doubt. So all the devotee parents definitely want their children to be devotees. But which type of devotees do we want our children to be? On one hand, we have Daksha Prajapati, who is wanting best of both the worlds. Okay, temple also should be there, and sense enjoyment also should be there. Both should be hand in hand. We should not create a disturbance situation. Whereas Rishabdeva, it is focused to spirituality. Nothing. Spirituality is your prime purpose. On one hand, we are all dreaming. What is our goal? What is our prayojana? We all want to go back to God, right? So sometimes it is assumed that we are all going back to Godhead, Haribol. But then back to Godhead is not an easy thing. Here it is mentioned that those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness, all of us are, correct? That is why we are woken up early in the morning, we attend Mangalarti, we want chanting, we are all sitting for this Bhagavatam class because we are interested in reviving our Krishna consciousness, correct? So there are some instructions by Rishabdev to all of us. So kindly hear attentively. Those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of God. Yes, correct. We all want to increase our love of God. So what we should do? Do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. Can you imagine? Anything which is not related to Krishna should not be done by those who are interested in reviving their Krishna consciousness. Next, they are not interested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Do you find such people in society today who are not who are interested in maintaining bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, defending? Practically everywhere we find such people. The moment we step out of our house, maybe the cab driver comes and picks us up. Then maybe we'll go to our office. We will enter our office. Practically everyone in the whole world is like this. They are interested in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And here the instruction is that we are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness, increasing love of God. We should not mingle with such people. So imagine even mingling with one such person is dangerous. Practically, we have to mingle with all people who are on this level. Okay. And another thing, they are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders. See, this is one may imagine, oh, what Prabhupada is saying is maybe for full-time devotees, maybe for brahmacharis, sannyasis, it is easy. They are in ashram and brahmachari ashram, and then where there is mixing of non-devotees. So maybe he's instructing them. For us, it's not. No, he's telling even if they are householders, they are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders. And see, here comes another striking point. They are not attached to wife, children, friends, and wealth. Ah, okay. So does it mean that we should just leave all of them and go? No, no, no. Another instruction is they are not indifferent from execution of duties. See, this is a very important point, that you should not be attached, still you should not be, means still you should be executing your duties. Now, how it is possible? If you see the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, last 20 verses which end at Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. So one must go through all those verses. There Krishna actually summarizes what he wants to tell from second chapter. He begins with Sthita Prajnasya Kavasha, what a Sthita Prajna is, but still he did not appeal so much to Arjuna. He did not understand that so much. Then he asked, no, how it is possible? You have to do your, so does it mean I should stop doing my work? That's what I wanted. Then he instructs third chapter where Karma Yoga is there. Then he takes through Jnana Yoga. Then he takes through Ashtanga Yoga. Then how to go back to Godhead, 8th chapter. And then gradually he explains what is the role of the Vedas in 15th chapter, three modes of material nature. All these things he explains. Finally, in 18th chapter, he summarizes this thing. So there he says that, does it mean we should give up everything? No. We should act within the platform of dharma based on the body that is given to us. We are all helpless, correct? For example, if a dog is born, once the dog is born, it doesn't have any freedom to sing like great singers of today. Does it have any freedom? No, it doesn't have that freedom because its body is conditioned to just say wow, wow. Similarly, cat's body is conditioned to say meow, meow. Human body, I am not such a great singer because my body is not conditioned to be. Maybe if I put effort, I will do some level of singing, but my body is not conditioned for singing. Somebody's body is conditioned for art. Somebody's body is conditioned to use brain, logic. So everybody's body is having a particular conditioning. What Krishna says is, based on your conditioning, you have to do your endeavor. And then that way you have to perfect your life. So here Rishabdeva is a father. He is instructing his sons such heavy statements. Don't indulge in sense India. Work for spirituality. Is he not afraid as to who will maintain him? If all become sannyasis, all his 100 sons, if they become sannyasis, who will maintain Rishabdeva? He is not afraid. In fact, 9 of his children became sannyasis. The Navayogendras who deliver the extraordinary instructions to Nimi Maharaj in the 11th canto. Kavi, Havi, Karbachana, Prabuddha. So all the Navayogendras, they deliver this extraordinary instructions to Nimi Maharaj. So they come in 11th canto. So 9 of his children did become sannyasis. And Rishabdev himself became a sannyasi. He himself was not interested in the maintenance of his children. He came out of that and completely focused on spirituality. He led as an example. See, that is the speciality of a father. He did not just give instructions to his children. He demonstrated in his life. Gradually, you will see now, next canto, next chapters, how Rishabdeva practically demonstrated what is that focused spirituality. He left his home, handed over the responsibility to his son, and then went to the forest. He didn't even wear clothes, not even interested in wearing clothes. People are spitting at him, people are throwing stones at him, people are treating him badly, but completely detached from bodily consciousness, not at all interested in any of these things. And same thing was demonstrated by his son also, Bharat Maharaj. in prime youth, when he could have all the happinesses, comforts, he just left that and went to the forest for austerity. So, like father, like son, because the father was such an extraordinary person, so he was able to give birth to such an extraordinary son like Bharat Maharaj. Now, the question that, Prabhuji, how this is practically possible? We are, we have to maintain our family, we have to have our EMIs, we have to have our loans, our, even if you want to buy some simple nest in today's society, it may cost how much? 1.5 crore rupees. Small nest to live in. 2 BHK or 3 BHK. In these circumstances, what is the hope? We have to mingle with non-devotees, we have to mix with people. And how it is possible to work? Then now what happens is, then we will start interpreting the statements. Enough, Prabhupada has mentioned here, we have to work enough to keep the body and soul together. So now how to understand this? Enough to keep body and soul together means what? So then we may interpret saying that, yeah, in today's world, enough to keep body and soul together is a package of 2 lakh rupees per month. So that is minimum. Yeah, that is the situation today, because the expenses are so high. And what to do? So you see, in the Ishopanishad, in the beginning, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vishishyate. Invocation, Prabhupada tells about this shloka. This is transcendental mathematics. 5 minus 5 is 0. 5 plus 5 is 10. But then, for the Supreme Lord, mathematics is different. Supreme Lord is Purnam, complete, infinite. Purnamada, Purnavidam. Material world, because it has come from the Supreme Lord, it is also Purnam. It is also infinite. So, Purnamada, Purnavidam, Purnat, Purnamudasyate. From the Purna, Purna is born. So, from Lord, the material world is born. Okay. Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Avashishyate. From the Supreme Lord Purna, the material world Purna is born. So, Purna minus Purna is how much? Supreme Lord still remains Purna. He doesn't become zero. So, in the purport, Prabhupada writes that what does it mean by material world is Purna? All the facilities required for living happily are present in this world. The Lord has given all the facilities. It's not that one has to struggle for the facilities. Have you ever seen any ant or elephant writing its CV and floating across, please give me a job? Who will maintain me? What will happen? You see, uh, elephants, their consumption is so huge. You go to the forests of Africa, there is unlimited food, unlimited facility for sustenance of all the elephants. Krishna has arranged nature in such a way. You see, big, big whales are there in the ocean. There is food facility, there is shelter facility for all those big, big whales. Every living entity, the moment a child is born, the facility for food for the child is already arranged by Krishna. The mother milk automatically comes. So before the child is born, mother milk doesn't come. As soon as the child is born, mother's milk is ready. So Krishna has arranged for every living entity. Why can't Krishna arrange for human beings? So it is exactly this lack of faith that is creating this whole multi-billion-dollar industry today, wherein everyone is literally brainwashed to do jobs, work day and night, and indulge with sinful people, spend time with them, and work for the sinful economy. The whole economic system today is sinful. You see, India imports so much of petroleum to maintain its big society. And for every petrol import, you have to export something. And India exports large quantity of meat in turn for that. So every drop of petrol that is utilized by Indians is stained with this flesh, is stained with this sin. And practically today, everything is dependent on petrol. The every vegetable that we eat, the every rice grain that we eat, it's all transported from the village to the cities and the people at home. So the whole system is become completely sinful. So when the economy is sinful, we are a part of it. So sins will be there. And in this environment of sins, how Krishna Bhakti is possible? Is it not difficult, Krishna Bhakti? And that is why mankind has to work more hard. You see, if our lives were simplified, if traditionally there were agraharas you might be knowing, South Indian temples, big temples. Have you all visited Srirangam temple? You will see that there is one main temple, and then there are 7 gates on all 4 sides. There are 7 different layers of gates, and there are some brahmanas who live within the first gate. Second gate, some brahmanas live. Some people live in third gate, and their whole life is centered around the temple. Everything they do for temple, and whatever dakshina comes, the Lord maintains the brahmanas through that. And then there are not just brahmanas, there are sweepers, there are cleaners, there may be masons, all of them. So the whole thing is centered around the deity, and the Lord maintains. In this way, since thousands of years, people are maintained. Nobody had to go long distance or on site or foreign country for a job to maintain their family. Everything was arranged. Traditionally, it was like that. You go to any village, there would be some farmers who would grow some food. There would be some carpenters who will do some carpentry work. There will be some masons. There will be some brahmanas who will tell the farmers what nakshatra to sow the seeds, what time to do. So everything, and they had to just work for a few months of the year. Farmer maybe works for 6 months. Brahmana maybe works once in a whenever he gets the engagements and daily morning deity worship. And that deity worship, his work was a direct offering to Krishna. A farmer, when he grows rice, that rice goes to temple as a direct offering to Krishna. Everything that happens is a direct offering to Krishna. Today, when we write a software, there is no way that the software can be directly offered to Krishna. Suppose somebody is working on 5G technology, creating some apps. So most of the people, clients who are using the apps will be materialists. These materialists whom Rishabh Dev speaks about. So it's all, they are indulging in sinful acts. And the karma is there, a part of it. So how can we be free from it? And when we are not free from it, is it possible to expect the next generation that our children will take up to serious devotion? So Prabhupada said that we have to be role models for our next generation. So if we don't have that commitment towards spirituality, definitely it becomes difficult for the next generation. So Prabhupada here mentions so-called advancement of society. Prabhupada frequently condemns this advancement of society. He calls it so-called advancement, so many places. Now people are very proud that society is very advanced. There are machines for everything. There is this. Now, on one side, what is our goal? We discussed in the beginning. Our goal is to go back to God. Back to God means we are all going to go to Golok Vrindavan. Now, in Golok Vrindavan, what is the culture? It is not just the one Krishna who is there in Golok Vrindavan. Krishna is with his friends. He is with his parents, the Gopabalas. Then he is with the gopis. He is with the trees. He is with the Yamuna. Now, becoming attached to Krishna means becoming attached to all these people, becoming attached to the whole culture of Vrindavan. So, why in Krishna conscious movement we all wear dhotis or Matajis wear saris? Because this is the culture of Golok Vrindavan. In Golok Vrindavan, everyone wears dhoti, everyone wears sari. So, our love for Krishna manifests in what clothes we wear also. The more we are attached to wearing these clothes, which are a culture of Goloka, the more we are proper candidates to go to Goloka. What are the jobs that are done in Goloka? It is a simple village. And in that simple village, people do farming, people do some simple work like masonry, all those things, everything in a natural life. So, if we are to get attached, especially with Goloka, Dwarka may be little more advanced, Mathura may be little more advanced. Even with advancement, they don't have machines. They still had natural life, but along with that natural life, they had big buildings and all. Whereas Vrindavan, it's just some huts. And to become candidates to go back to Golok Vrindavan, we should have firm faith that this is the real life. This is the life that we cannot just all through life keep wearing jeans and go to Golok Vrindavan. There also we'll demand jeans, for example. So, so similarly, the clothing, the type of food. Okay, in initial part, days of Krishna consciousness movement, we encourage whatever you are cooking, except some restrictions like onion, garlic, and other things. Whatever you are cooking, offer to Krishna and eat. You like cakes, offer to Krishna and eat. You like pastries, offer to Krishna and eat. But gradually, what is the indicator of our advancement in Krishna consciousness? Are we get attached? Are we getting attached to what Krishna eats? How to know that? It is known in the culture of Vrindavan. It is known in the culture of Jagannath Puri. It is known in the culture of Sri Rangam. It is known in the culture where all these traditions still survive. So the food that these traditional people eat, are we getting more attached to that? The lifestyle of the traditional people, are we getting more attached to that? Yashoda Mai, she would cook on firewood. So that is quality. Even today, there are traditional Brahmanas who are very strict. For offering to the Lord, they either use firewood or they use charcoal, and that way they offer to the Lord. So I don't say that overnight we can change situation. Now we are using gas, we are using ovens, and the circumstances, the situations have come in such a way that we have to use all these things, and in this way we cook for the Lord. But one thing we should understand, that is not the best. Gradually, over a period of time, we should develop this idea that this is not the culture of Vrindavan. Culture of Vrindavan is more traditional lifestyle. So if we are able to reach this level where we are offering Lord some things which are more traditional, then we are really eligible candidates to enter Golok Vrindavan. The clothes that we wear, the lifestyle, the food, the fruits that we are attached to, the language that we are attached to. So just imagine if we have association of such devotees, where your morning begins with Mangalarti, then you have chanting in association of devotees, then you go for a job where you are singing Vaishnava bhajans. There are devotees all around who are singing with you and doing your job. Evening you come back, you are tired, there will be some Sandhya Arti, then there will be bhajans, kirtans, Ramayana, Ram Katha, Mahabharat, and in this way, in association of devotees, you go to sleep. Now, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we consider today's civilization as pinnacle of advancement of civilization, oh, today's society is really very advanced. Now, can you tell me, if this is real advancement, Krishna would not have done this? Lord Ramchandra was the king of the whole world. Do you think it was difficult for him to introduce electricity or introduce these big, big machines like JCBs or aeroplanes and all those things? Do you think it was difficult for him? When the ordinary scientists of Kali Yuga can do it, do you think Krishna could not have done it? Definitely he could have done it. He had all the intelligence, he had all the manpower, he had all the capacity to do it. There were extraordinary persons like Vedavyasa. The amount of literature Vedavyasa has written on the amount of varieties of subjects unimaginable for modern society. He has written on metallurgy, he has written on medicine, he has written on chemistry, he has written on physics, uh, he has written on astronomy, astrology. They name one work which Vyasdeva has not done, logic. So, in all these things, Vedavyasa would live in a hut and do this thing. So, he did not, traditionally, people would think it a waste of time to improve the material situation. See, the material situation, whatever improvement, it is not going to solve the basic problems of life. Which are the basic problems of life? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarshanam. Birth, old age, disease, and death. These problems are not going to be solved by any advancement of material civilization. Today, with such advancement, have they solved this problem? No, the problem still exists. On the contrary, present civilization is much more vulnerable than the civilizations of the past. I will give an simple example. 2019 end, there was this serious outbreak of COVID-19. You see, just the outbreak of disease became so vulnerable. It spread like wildfire all over the world. So many people are dying. The whole world is tense, don't know what to do. They are imposing lockdown, and everyone is tense. They had no clue how to solve this problem. Somehow, over a period of time, the world overcome this, and now this problem is not there. But have we learned lessons from that? What are the lessons to be learned? That this society is so vulnerable that just an outbreak of disease can create such a catastrophe. Traditionally, in the absence of mass communication and mass media and all these things, if there was an outbreak in a village, it would be restricted to the whole same village. Maybe a few people in the next village. Today, if there is outbreak in China, somebody travels in aeroplane to India. From India, they travel to Italy. From Italy, they travel to Europe. Wildfire it spreads. So the present civilization is more vulnerable than whatever we call advanced civilization. It is in a more dangerous level than what was in the past. And this was not nuclear weapons. Imagine what if countries start picking up nuclear weapons and fighting. What will be the situation? Just once the nuclear weapons were used in Japan, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and it was such a catastrophe, so much damaging. And that too, I studied that little bit. The two bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, they were so inefficient that just 5% of it was utilized. They were highly inefficient because it was the first time they were using that. With today's advancement, can you imagine if these things come up, how dangerous it will be? So, this is all just COVID was a very good lesson for people to learn that the situation is not going on the right way. We have to change our direction. And we have to change our direction towards Goloka Vrindavan. How we can change our direction towards Goloka Vrindavan? Edina grihete Goloka bhai. Grihete Goloka bhai. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings that in my home only Goloka has come. And how he sings? Because in his home, the culture of Goloka was there, where devotees were there, and in devotees association, bhajan kirtan was there. So today it has become so difficult. Prabhupada says all the grahasthas should engage in deity worship. They should engage in chanting Hare Krishna. If you see, Prabhupada has set certain rules for initiated devotees. Every devotee, every initiated devotee must attend the morning program without fail. They should attend Mangalarti, they should have chanting, and they must compulsorily have 2 hours of books, reading of our books. So, Srila Prabhupada's books, he said 2 hours, everyone should read that. Now, this is must, he said, for initiated devotees. Now, how much is it becoming practical? Is it really happening in today's society? So difficult. So then, what happens? The another side of it. Once we are not able to do it, correct? We are not able to follow Prabhupada's instruction. Then what we do? Oh, maybe Prabhupada has said it for some different devotees, not for us. Maybe he has said for full-time devotees. Maybe he has said these instructions, but it is not practical for all of us. So then we start minimizing the statements of Prabhupada. Now tell me one thing. These instructions that every day we have to attend morning program, every day 2 hours. So we start doubting these instructions. Then why we will not start doubting other instructions of Prabhupada? Prabhupada has given so many instructions about going back to Godhead, about pure devotional service, not compromising. So we'll start doubting those instructions also. So gradually the faith in Prabhupada's instructions also dwindles down. All this because we are in a greed-based civilization. The today's civilization is nurturing greed. Okay, you buy this Surf Excel, otherwise your life is horrible. You don't have this fan or this oven, then you are not human beings. These are the advertisements that come, right? And they are bombarded. The TV, the YouTube, the billboards, everywhere they are bombarding these advertisements, correct? Now, even when these things were not there, people survived and people were more happy, those civilizations, when these things did not exist. So, okay, now one may question, yeah, these things are important, but I don't have money. Then the bank said, don't worry, you take credit cards. I will give credit. On credit, you buy a house. How it is possible to buy 1.5 crore? No problem. We will give you loans. But that loans are tying you up for 20 years in the association of non-devotees. So the society which is greed based, it is tying us up in the association of non-devotees for 20 years, 30 years, practically lifelong. So, and the social pressure is such that, oh, now you get married, you must have a house, You must have this, you must have that. There are so many musts. Every 5 years, you must change a car. It is so much, it is making us stuck. And where do you know where this begins? The greed-based economy, it begins right there in the school. I remember in my first standard, we were told that there are two types of houses, kacha houses and pakka houses. Pakka houses are very strong. They don't fall down, whereas kacha houses just fall down. Actually speaking, if you go to villages, there are houses which are made of mud, which are standing for decades together, 70, 80 years, these thick walls, and they are so good for us. So traditionally, these things just they would bring some mud, bring some wood, bring some local materials, use it, and make a house. Your house problem is solved. Today, for a simple small house, so much 30 years of commitment, 20 years of commitment, in that too in the association of non-devotees, it is so difficult. So now one may question, okay, Prabhuji, what is the solution? Can we get out of all this? Whatever Rishabh Deva is instructing is there. Okay, it is there. But then can we come to that state? Yes, it is possible. Definitely it's possible. Prabhupada wanted, initially, he wanted that let us preach, let us recruit new devotees, let us make people serious in Krishna consciousness, let them come to the level of initiation. But then those who are serious, once you have become one initiated devotee, once they are practicing serious Krishna consciousness, we should simplify our lives. So when we simplify our life, we can focus more on Krishna consciousness. The more we complicate, then we are not leading instruction according to Bhagavad Gita. So if we, once we preach, we should also show to people that we can live like this. Prabhupada did in his lifetime uh, demonstrate certain communities where people were living close to nature, the farms, where people led a simple life. They grew their own food. Then they tried to build houses which are of local things. And even today, there are devotees who are indulging in such things. And schools, we will educate in our own this Bhagavatam. Imagine if our children are taught these things. Simplify your life. Lead a simple life. Be satisfied with whatever is there. And you don't give luxuries to children. Right from the beginning, they are living simple life, close to nature. They are adjusted to all these things. So, with that, they can survive anywhere, whatever situation, and they can keep their bhakti intact because their greed is very less. Whereas, right from the beginning, if schools and all teach this, oh, advancement of civilization, it's so amazing. All your desires can be satisfied just sitting in your home. You order, and through Swiggy, everything comes. Through Zomato, everything comes. Everything you need for sense intelligence is available here. If this is what we are teaching our children, then where can they get serious devotion? You see, children can take up any austerity. Maybe once we get old, we might not be able to take up austerity. But children, cold water bath, they can take up. Sleeping on the carpet, they can do it. They can do any austerity because they are children, they have the energy, they have the strength. But we are spoiling them by giving luxury. And once they get used to luxury, then once they grow up, they cannot change. So we should not become Daksha by spoiling children. Of course, Daksha was better. At least he told do austerities and then come back and do sense enjoyment. We don't even tell to do austerities. Okay, Sunday come with us in temple, but all the time comfortable, luxurious life. So, we may be worse than Daksha. And on the other hand, Rishabh Deva, the father Rishabh Deva. So when we go through the teachings of Rishabh Deva, these are things we should imbibe. That no, I should simplify my life. That's what Rishabh Deva is instructing me. I should make an environment where our children's lives is also simplified. Fortunately, by Krishna's mercy, we got an opportunity to live for 2.5 years in one such community. We have a community called Nandagram in Gujarat, where around 18 to 20 grahasthas are living simple life. They don't use electricity. They just they cook food on firewood for the Lord. There is no gas. And what grahasthas do? Can you imagine the standard of grahasthas, the sadhana of grahasthas? All grahasthas at 4:30 a.m., Prabhuji's, Mataji's children would come for Mangalarti. And then they would chant their rounds in the morning. And once they chant their rounds in the morning, then when they go for job, what is the job? They go with devotees in the farm cultivating. Some devotees go to the temple for deity worship. Some devotees go in the kitchen where they are cooking for the Lord. And some devotees are engaged in Gurukula Seva, where they are teaching children these basics of Krishna consciousness. Some more devotees, they are engaged in construction work, where they construct houses where these devotees can live simply. So life is so simple, and by the time evening comes, they come back home, light their lamps because there is no electricity, there is no bulb. Light the lamps. 8:30, 8:45, maximum 9 o'clock. The whole village is closed. Everyone goes to sleep. So we sleep at 9 o'clock, wake up at 3:30, take bath, and 4:30 we are all for Mangalati. So what a life. Evening we can have Rama Katha, we can have Krishna Katha. There is no work pressure, there is no boss. So what a wonderful life. So these are the things that Prabhupada wanted. With this, we can really simplify our life and we can actually lead our life according to the teachings of Rishabh Deva. Whatever Rishabh Deva is teaching, we can actually live. And then the faith in Prabhupada teachings increases. Oh, Prabhupada has said this, Bhagavatam says this, I can also follow it. That means all the teachings of Prabhupada are for me also. So the faith in Prabhupada teachings naturally increases with all this. So these were a few things which I would like to share related to this amazing instructions of Rishabh Deva. He begins with Nunam Pramatta Kurte Vikarmani. Pramatta, there are 3 levels of madness. Matta, Unmatta, Pramatta. Matta means mad. Unmatta means more mad. And Pramatta means the highest degree of madness. So who is having the highest degree of madness? One who has psychological problem, one who is admitted in Nimans? No. The highest level of madness is of the person who engages in sense enjoyment. And the highest level of intelligence is one who restrains from sense enjoyment. And then, if we can't develop such children, then Rishabh Deva further says, we'll discuss further as you go next to us. Guru na sasyat, swajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani sasyat, devam na sasyat, na patim cha sasyat, namo chedyas samupetyam mrityum. If you cannot deliver your children, if you cannot deliver your dependent from repeated birth and death, don't become a father, don't become a mother, don't become a teacher, don't become a demigod, don't become a king. Don't take these positions if you cannot deliver your dependence. Today, everyone becomes a king just on votes. They are not so much interested in delivering their dependence. They are not so much interested in spirituality. They are primarily interested in the seat in this. So it's all sinful. So similarly, one becomes parent just because either he wants to enjoy the pleasure or he wants social pressure. Oh, everyone says one child. For that they become parents. Now we can see in newspapers and news today what type of parents are there. So sinful. They don't even think. Of course, they would do it in the womb, but now they are doing it outside the womb. What is the difference? So, but one should not become such a parent. Animals, cats and dogs also become such parents that they perform the activity of pregnancy and they perform the activity of delivery. But then humans, they are supposed to do more. They are supposed to deliver spirituality. Lord has entrusted certain souls in our house. Because we are practicing Krishna consciousness, Lord has given the responsibility of certain souls to us, saying that you are responsible for their Krishna bhakti. So it is the responsibility of parents to give the right message the way Rishabh Deva behaves like a responsible parent. Hare Krishna. So you all would like to share some thoughts on this, some questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Rama Aprameya Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful class. You definitely touched upon a very pertinent problem. Solutions are there, practical solutions are there. It's up to us to have put faith in that and try to implement and practice. And I'll probably also look at, as I said, give the example of the place Nandagram, where it is a look at other examples also, where devotees are practicing. So thank you, Prabhuji. I've opened up the floor for questions, thoughts, and inputs. Hare Krishna. I hope devotees are able to unmute their lines.
Yes, Prabhu, we are able to.
Any devotees would like to ask?
It's a very, very nice lecture. But people, we are insecure. We don't know, we give up, what will happen, who will take care, and how to eat. So all these things come to the mind. So I think slowly it should develop, and then we should get go away and then live in these maybe like farm communities or something like that, which develops. I think some people should start, and then it'll be very nice. Thank you very much in the morning, Prabhu. Excellent lecture from you. Dandavad Pranam, Prabhu.
Actually, Mataji has brought a very nice point, actually. The point of insecurity. See, if you go to a village, there is an illiterate farmer or an illiterate carpenter. They never have a sense of insecurity because they have the skills to survive. They will use their skills, and through the skills they will survive. A carpenter may do carpentry, a sculptor may do sculpture, farmer may do farming. He has the skills to survive. But the present education system makes us handicapped. They don't want us to develop any skills for survival, because their only focus is that eventually we will become a part of the industry, we will become a part of the workforce, because this workforce will help the improvement of factories, and that will eventually help increase the GDP of the country. Their focus is that. So that way, through the education, they are not wanting people to develop any skills. That way, you see, people do have bank balance also, but still the insecurity is there. Everyone is not stuck in loans. You may have a lot of bank balance. You may have bank balance enough to survive for next 15, 20 years also, but still the insecurity is there because we don't have skills. Okay, at any point of time, if things don't work out, I will do something to survive. That skills are not there in present day society. So I blame it on the education that it is making us handicapped. So really, we parents, we should think, should we put our children in this education where they will be insecure all through their life?
Prabhuji, one quick question. When we say Yukta Vairag, or dovetailing what we have in the service of Krishna, with that perspective in mind, there are devotees who are well placed, whether it is from a health, wealth, and all this, and there are devotees who are not so well placed. Both are utilizing their availability or their resources that they have in a very in a dovetailing way to in terms of practicing Krishna consciousness. Is that okay, or is that not so?
Rup Goswami says, Prapanchik Taya Vidya Hari Sambandhi Vastuna Mumukshivit Parityago Algu Vairagya Muchate. That we cannot reject the things of Prapancha, whatever is available. We have to use them in service of Krishna because they are all the energies of Krishna. Definitely, no doubt about that. But then the candidate who uses that, he should not be attached to it. Now, that is the key. How much can we simplify our life? Prabhupada used the recorder, Prabhupada used the all the facilities like aeroplane and all, but his complete focus was on pure Krishna consciousness. Now, we may not be that in that case. We are using some things for Krishna.
Prabhuji, you're muted.
Hare Krishna, I'm sorry. So, we are using some things for Krishna's service and some things because they are needed for us. And in our heart, we know that are we buying a house so that eventually completely it is going to advance in Krishna Bhakti? No, the house is our need also. We may be satisfied with a small room, but then house is our need also, our requirement for the body also, and our requirement for enjoyment also. So it becomes too dicey. In the present economy, what I'm saying, initial stages, it's perfectly okay. Whatever we have, everything we are using for Krishna. So it's perfectly okay. I gave you example of cake. You are accustomed to eating cake, okay, offer it to Krishna and eat. Gradually, samosas and kachoris, rasgullas must be our priority menu and not cakes. That shows our advancement in Krishna. Similarly, initially, yes, we are using the objects in the material world. We need a car. We will use the car once in a while on one Sunday to go to temple. All other things. But our advancement is indicated in, can we live without this? Can we simplify our life? So If you see a really renounced person, Prabhupada, in Vrindavan, he didn't have any of these things, but he never complained that, oh, I don't have this. He was living without that. He used these things just to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world. And later on, when he came back to Vrindavan, he lived again without all that. So he didn't practically need it. So that sense of discrimination is required. And at the same time, there should be some devotees who also should demonstrate this vision of Prabhupada, where yes, we have simplified our lives and we are living like this. So some devotees like this also are. Does that make sense, Prabhu?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I mean, yes, definitely. We're not being attached to what we have. That itself is a big austerity that we have to do, Prabhuji, for sure. That's for sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Any other questions, inputs, comments from devotees?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I'll ask one last question, Prabhu. And
Yes.
I see the wonderful devotees in our temple, Prabhu. Everybody come together and then they work, and it's so nice. There is no question of you are rich and poor and things. I've not seen that. At least what I don't know. I'm quite a newcomer in the temple. Last 2.5 to 3 years, I'm just coming. But everybody involves and they work, and it's so wonderful. But I just wanted to ask you one question. A man
Yes,
can
sir.
go away, like, do a little work. A woman can do a lot of work, right? From sweeping, swabbing, washing the vessel. That's all. It is learned and we do it. But we can't just leave the house and go. That's a big question. I always think about it. Suppose we go and live in a place, we have to see so many things. People say they go to Vrindavan and all that. I don't know, Prabhu.
Very good question you asked, Mataji. Actually, not just women, even men also, everyone cannot just leave everything and go. If you see, the complete renunciates are a very small section of the society. Since thousands of years, this has been the trend, and we cannot change this trend. So Krishna knew this. That is why he spoke the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You can read the 3rd chapter translation and purports of Bhagavad Gita. These things will become clear. Arjuna wanted to become that. He wanted to renounce everything and leave everything. But Krishna said, no, you cannot do it. Because then you go to the forest, you will be a pretender. Because you will fall down there. Somebody will come and challenge you, you will start fighting there. You will fall down, you will be a pretender. So what you are supposed to do is, you have to lead your life according to your body's condition. So a man is conditioned differently, woman is conditioned differently. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they are all conditioned differently. So definitely we have to live according to our conditioning. That is why you see in the society, civilized society, roles of women are different, roles of men are different. A man cannot take care of children the way woman can take care. And similarly, the woman may not have the courage to take bold decisions in life the way man can take. So everyone's body is conditioned differently. But here the emphasis is on dharma, duty. And those duties have to be defined according to Shastra. So womanly duties, manly duties, and Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these were duties which are defined according to Shastras. And in a community like Nandagrama, I give the example, here people are not renunciates. They are grahasthas, they are having children, they get married, but then they are doing duties according to dharma, according to what is ordained for them. And in this way, life becomes easy for them. Imagine, since even to get one small shag, for example, some patta, some leaf you want to eat, okay, palak or something, it is coming from 50 kilometers. It is coming from Kolar or somewhere else to Bangalore, and then you have to eat it. How much transportation you have to pay for it? And that transportation you have to earn for it. Just in your backyard, if you can grow some leaves and vegetables, then that will save so much of expense and that will save so much of your earning. So this is one example I gave. Now this applies to everything that we are using. Our transportation, our food, our residence, everything is all imported from hundreds of places, and for that you have to work so hard. If we can simplify our life, so it is not of renunciation. We can actually lead a good family life if we can simplify our life.
Yes,
I
Prabhu.
hope I answered. the
Yes,
point,
sir.
Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Done with Pranam.
In fact, interestingly, when this society was current in the past, people had tens or hundreds of children. My grandfather had 8 brothers and 1 sister. So you can say that sense enjoyment was more at that time. In comparison to present society, where after 1 child, who is going to put them in school and pay for such heavy fees? We don't want second child. That's what people say.
No, very true. We used to say our grandfathers used to have football team, basically. That
Yeah.
Hare Krishna,
Actually,
Prabhu.
devotees should have more children. That is one way of preaching Krishna consciousness.
Prabhu, Bhakti Vinod Thakura is the right example.
Yeah, very true.
Although he was
Yes,
a
Prabhu, you are
grihastha
asking
and
something.
had many children, and he came to this path and he gave us a lot of ways and means how we can also be a perfect devotee, being a grihastha.
Yes, yes.
Right. Any other questions or comments? Okay, which I think we'll end here and with Vaishnav Pranams. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha. Kripasindubhya Vashapatikanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnav. Krishna Vrinda ki jai, Vaishnav Thakur Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.